When you get out and stretch, do you do it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes?
We all learn at school, so everyone
So, remember when we were in Japan, Kurt, and we saw all the people would do exercises outside of their work?
Yeah.
She said they'd all do the exact same exercise routine every morning.
Everyone.
That is
Something about
good.
north, south, east, west?
Well, they teach it in school.
Ah, that's
and,
cool.
And
It's like
construction
almost
workers
like-
do it.
Yeah, we saw.
Is it like
How
Tai
cool is
Chi
it?
or whatever or something or a
It's
form of
just
that?
like exercise. It's not Tai Chi or anything. It's just a regular exercise, and then it's like a national anthem. Like
Yeah.
everyone knows.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
It gets like it works all the muscles in your
Yeah.
body, all the different exercises.
I send you a video.
No, we saw it when we were there, and we were like, everybody should do that.
Yeah.
Everybody should
And then you
stretch
can do
and
it.
move. Yeah.
And you don't have to use a mat or anything.
Yeah.
So.
That's
Cool.
nice.
Yeah.
So guys, we ran into Eric and Yuko again. And we're headed out. They're going to be here for a while. Where are we going to see you guys again?
Probably somewhere bottom half of Argentina. Fortunately.
Argentina. We're headed to Ushuaia, and there's a short window for that. So
Yeah, we're all
probably all van lifers will converge there again
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
So
because Ushuaia is the very south point of South America, and it is cold. So you have to time it where you're there, like in January or early February. So we're on the same path. We'll see them again. Don't worry.
a few countries from now, I guess,
I
probably.
think there's only like one road, and there's
Yeah.
only two major roads,
Yeah.
right? So
It's gonna be a van life convoy.
All right.
We have left our camp. We're driving through the historic area to the south side of Cusco to the airport to pick up our friend from Orlando, Ashley. We're super excited to take one of our friends through some rural parts of Peru and let her see some of this stuff that most tourists don't normally get to see. So let's go get Ashley. Not only are we excited to have a friend visit from home, but we are super excited because that friend is bringing us a lot of stuff that we
Santa
need.
Claus.
She is Santa Claus. I bet we filled up a whole suitcase of stuff she's bringing to us from the States, and we're excited to get to it. We have made it to the airport. It is a small little regional airport, so getting in here has been easy, which is awesome. We're actually even a little early, so we're gonna park and wait. We have picked up Ashley. I am the back seat rider. Vanna's hanging out with me. They got their new toys that Ashley brought them, which was awesome. All right, so we are in a small town, maybe 45 minutes north of Cusco. We are headed towards where we will be camping while we do our Machu Picchu trip, but we thought we would stop and grab some lunch.
All right, so we just heard that Ashley has seen some of our videos and has been watching us drink limonada and loving limonada for a while. So now she's having her first limonada. What do you think?
That is delicious.
So we stopped in this cute, fun little town. Kurt found us a good parking place. We walked in and found a great restaurant, and it finally happened. Whether we wanted it to or not, it finally happened. Kurt tried some cuy. Now this is something we've been thinking about for like 2 months since Ecuador. I am a hard no, I'm not gonna try it, but Kurt tried it. How was it, Kurt?
I don't know if anybody really needs to try it.
Kurt wasn't
I might
crazy.
try it again, prepared a different way. I don't know, but I was
Yeah.
a fan.
Kurt wasn't impressed, but Ashley had some yummy chicken, and it was so pretty. The plates were done. It was so nice at this restaurant with some great sweet little baby carrots and just perfect soup. And I had loma saltado, which is kind of become what I eat all the time down here. But anyway, lunch was fantastic, and now we are back on the road again, heading closer to Machu Picchu.
So we came around the corner and they have all these ruins up on the side of the mountain there, which is pretty cool. But then they have these huge glacier cap mountains, which was pretty stunning too. And you can actually see down into the valley. First time Ashley's really gotten this look, but you can see all the farmland down there. So that's where we're headed. We have one stop before we go down there. But let me show you this look down into this valley. It's really cool. Look at that. Wow. And look at that switchback road. That's probably the road we'll be taking down You guys can see that right there. Wow. All right, a quick little stop at this vista. Now we're headed on. We're gonna go to this interesting place. It's actually salt mines that are on side of the mountain. So let's go check these things out. So we made it to the salt flats. I think we can actually go down and park, but we wanted to stop at this little mirador to show you the scale of these things. Now I believe these things have been active since like 500 AD. So pre-Inca times they used these salt mines. I'm sure they're probably bigger than they were back in that day.
All right, we've parked at the parking lot. We've started walking down closer to these cool little salt ponds. And I wanted to pop in and tell y'all, Ashley flew in from Florida. And she spent one night in Lima, but that's pretty much at sea level. And then we picked her up in Cusco this morning at 12,000 feet. So we immediately got her some cocoa leaves and cocoa tea. And you felt a little lightheaded, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she's feeling much better. Now we're down to probably around 10,000 feet. And we'll get her closer to 9 before we stop for the night.
All right, so this area right here, this is the little spring, the saltwater spring that feeds this. So if you can see right down along here, it comes into this, and a little bit later we'll show you the little channels they use to fill each little pond for the salt.
So it's like they have a little irrigation line, trench, that feeds all the ponds.
If you look on top of the berms, you can see the little trench that goes around, and then they'll have a little place where it can drop out into each of the ponds. It's a really intricate system. A lot of the water is evaporated out of these ponds, and you can see the salt is crystallized, and this is actually the stuff they harvest. They're raking up the salt. I noticed some piles have salt. I think they rake it up and let it dry. But then over there, there's probably, I don't know, about 10 or 12 bags of salt that they've harvested. And they're working in various sections of the pond, I guess, as the water evaporates out. All right, so I've been watching them mine the salt for a while now, and I'm starting to pick up on a technique. So the lady in the yellow in the middle, she's the furthest along. This guy on the right who's kneeling down has just started to build her pile. And the one on the left, kind of in the front here, you can see she's now got her pile out of the water. But once that salt gets up there, they'll walk her out on that and push all the moisture out of it. And eventually they're gonna put it in these little baskets and up in these white bags. Okay, a couple more quick last points before we head out of here. We got to get to our camp spot. It's getting late in the day. 2 piles of salt right there. The one on the right is pink salt. The other one is more of a white salt. You can see all the bags up here. And I think at the end they're going to have some stores. So maybe we'll see what kind of products they make here up there at the market. Ladies are taking off, leaving me behind. We're getting up here to the little gift shops. I know Ashley traded some money in at the airport. She's got some soles. She's looking to spend. Ashley was over here tasting some of these salts, and I got roped into it. And I tried some of this Rosada Ahumada. I believe it's smoked salt. Anyway, it's very good salt. So I bought a little bag. This is 5 soles, so it's about $1.25 for this little bag. And we'll use it to spice up some of our food in the van. All right, everyone, we are leaving the salt mines, headed up a bumpy road, and we have a new driver in town. So all we have up front is a couple cackling hens now.
All right, so one thing about driving to Machu Picchu that we have not told y'all, we cannot drive all the way to Machu Picchu. There's a little town out that you stay at that have the hotels and the restaurants, and that's where people stay to go up to Machu Picchu by bus. We cannot drive to that town. The only way to get to that town, which is called Aguas Calientes, is by train. Most people stay in Cusco and take a train straight up to Machu Picchu. We decided to drive halfway, and we're gonna stay in this cool little town. I will learn how to pronounce it right, but for now I'm gonna call it Ulantambayo. And from there, there is a train stop. We can get on the train right there and ride about another hour and a half on the train and get up to Machu Picchu. So that's what we're doing.
All right, we have made it down to a town in the valley called Urubamba. and we're probably about 45 minutes from our camp spot. Ashley's first day in the van, and we find ourselves losing sunlight as we race into camp. 20 minutes left to go. It's so funny watching somebody else experience what we've been experiencing for so long. We just had a cow jam. Ashley pulls out her camera and gets a nice quick snap. But as we come into, how do you pronounce this city?
We're gonna ask a local and we'll tell y'all later.
Oyo Tamtambo?
I don't know.
Something like.
Olente Tambo?
We're gonna ask a local.
Anyway, Olentantambo is how we say it. We know that's wrong. There's going to be a police stop coming in here. So let's see if we get waved over or not. Here we
my first police stop.
Ashley's first police stop in Peru. Come on. With Florida plates.
Yeah.
So there on that sign is the name. Ollantaytambo. Oya. See, I just can't say it. I don't. Is this just a retaining wall, or is this?
I think this might be wrong.
This is part of ruins, and there's goats up on top of the ruins up there. It's so cool.
Yeah,
Our
this
llamas.
city's full of ruins.
And that red
So there's
thing.
a caminata, there's the hike.
Yeah. I can tell you, we just rolled into town, and this place has tons of charm.
Lots of characters
And
there.
one of the things that makes charm is cobblestone roads, and they are wobbly. All right, so we made it to our camp spot. The kitties are clearly pleased.
Sorry,
Oop,
buddy.
you got doinked in the
I
head.
talked to you in the head. All right. Ashley brought us presents.
Santa Claus! She's
So we're gonna
awesome.
Open them now.
I didn't pay for them, but
Darn.
I did transfer them.
Yeah.
She was the mule.
Yes. All right, to start with, we have new straps to hold our sunglasses and Kurt's seeing glasses on his head. Let me get to one of the most important things. When we were in Mindo, Kurt lost his Yeti coffee mug.
My prized coffee mug.
And he has been devastated. Kurt?
Yay! Cheers, my coffee mug.
And these little things are gonna hold the seat belt off of my neck. Some of y'all have commented that I needed something, and you were right. This is gonna help us pick up Wi-Fi better in the van. We hope, according to the reviews, it is. This is our Google stuff. Yes. They do not sell Google phones down here. We have Google phones. We have both scratched our screen protectors. New screen protectors for our phones. Oh, wait.
Chili powder!
Chili powder. Chili powder.
We have been looking all over Latin America, since I guess South America, and not been able to find chili powder.
Dissolving underneath your tongue B12 vitamins. Impossible to find down here. This one. Oh, this is adapter that will go into a 2-prong. Because Peru is 220, guys. So sometimes we can't go into places and plug in our laptops. Now we can. And this goes with the phone. Close.
This is so much stuff, guys, and Ashley lugged it all down. Oh, there's more. Wait.
Yes.
And there's more.
Everyone will be very happy to know Kurt now has 400 Benadryls. Because y'all know he goes out and he gets bit by these creepy crawlers, and y'all have all yelled at us for running out of Benadryls. No more.
Can't get it down here.
Magnets to hold another cell phone on the dash.
Driver's necessity.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's our Christmas in July. Christmas in July.
In Peru.
In Peru.
Machu Picchu.
All right, we're gonna leave y'all for the night. We will see y'all tomorrow for an incredibly special day because we are taking you to Machu Picchu.
Good morning, everyone. We are at Ollantaytambo I'm pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. I've been practicing and I still can't get it right. But this is the furthest point where we can drive. We got really lucky last night and they let us stay in the parking lot where Ashley is staying, where she has the room. So that worked out nice. And G's getting a little walk. He's been chomping at the bit this morning. Generally means he wants grass. But we're super excited because the day's the day we're gonna head up to Machu Picchu. So we take a train up to Aguas Caliente, and then from there, we'll take a bus up to Machu Picchu. So we can't drive up to any of those places, but we're headed up there. And even this morning, we have a sunset hike today. So even this morning, I think we are gonna explore this little town. So really super excited today. I'm sure you guys are aware this is huge on everybody's bucket list, but especially on ours. All right, my new Yeti cup. Snow's pouring me coffee in it for the first time. Oh, did I miss you, cup? All right, we got G for a walk. Now it's time to take Ashley for a walk. She needs to get out too. But seriously, Snow's gonna take a break. Big hike today at Machu Picchu. But we wanted to go check out Ollantaytambo, blah, 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 blah. So that's where we're headed right now, to check out this cool little town. So all these little towns have town centers, as you guys know. And this one right here is actually pretty big, given how small and tight and compact this town is. A lot of the roads here are one way, and they have to alternate traffic because they don't even have enough roads to go in and out. But a lot of the streets are like this, little narrow walking streets. Check this out, guys. But these tiny little streets, if you can see, they're just built on these big giant boulders, and some of these are actually quite massive. And if you look down the walls, these resemble a lot of the stone structures we've seen as we've come across. Obviously these are bigger and a little bit more grander, and it looks like they've kind of come over top of them and maybe modernized them. But I can't help but wonder how old these streets, these cobblestone streets and these structures are. But this is really cool. Now, obviously there's a bunch of hostels and modern restaurants in it, but these small doors kind of give me the impression that this was made back in Inca times. And look at the window. Yeah, no mortar, just stacked on each other.
But no sauce. How did they make these things? This is what they still want.
I don't. All right, this is up to those ruins up above us, is where I definitely want to do. Don't know if we'll have time, but those are pretty cool. But I wanted to show you this. And these are like waterways that run along these narrow paths, actually where people live or used to live. I don't know if it still exists, but we've seen it across Latin America, that these waterways are actually used for the water for the dwellings. And so they'll come out here and get the water from these troughs and cook with it. They'll also do their laundry with it and stuff like that. And so each of these alleyways kind of, or a lot of them, have these things, and it's the water source for the people. So running water. We know that the Inca people weren't real tall. So we go on steps like this, it always amazes me how steep the steps are. So some of these are probably 18 inches high. So sorry about the breathing, but we're moving pretty fast because we don't have a lot of time. Look at this, guys. Wow. Definitely not our plans to head up here, but we're going up, and you can really see how small the town of Ollantaytambo is. And there's the little town center that we just walked through. And all this area is the narrow streets. But look how there's courtyards in there, Ash. You'd never even know it walking through those streets. We made it up here to some structure. Obviously you can see it's kind of a little weathered, eroded, and all that type of stuff. Ashley's down there. Say hey, Ashley. You can see the walls So this was probably the entrance to this structure right here, whatever it was. It's just hard to imagine that people actually lived up here, and some of these might be where, I don't know, where they did business, where they stored stuff, where their military stayed. But without the rails, they just scaled up these mountains like billy goats. And we even see the indigenous people doing that today. Look at this place, magnificent. Wow. All right, what a fun time scaling around, climbing around on these ruins and these steps. But we're running out of time. We need to get back to the van, catch our train, and head to Machu Picchu. All right, all the last minute preparations are on your way.
We're ready.
All right, we're on the way to the train. And you guys can probably see from all this traffic going in that it is a popular place.
Yes. I don't think we've told you we had to buy our tickets over 2 months in advance. So if you're ever going to Machu Picchu, you need to know that. This place sells out. One of the most famous places in the world we're going to today.
I'm excited, are you? Ash, are you excited?
I'm extremely excited.
So just a little short walk down the hill and we'll hop on the train. We'll see you guys there.
All right, we're all checked in. We had a last minute cocoa tea to help with altitude. We're walking through this great little market and restaurant area. We're gonna go get on the train.
All right, we made it on the train. And we got some empanadas for the ride. So we've been in the train for about 30 minutes following this river. We're turning the corner. All right, I just got my first glimpse of some ruins along the river there up in front of us. And we have a peek at the snow-capped mountains.
I see. These are my train buddies. We didn't get to sit together because we bought our tickets separate, me and Kurt. But I'm making friends with these cool Argentina guys who are giving us great ideas to places to go when we get to Argentina. So that's awesome. Yes, they're from Mendoza. Wine, oh, vino in Mendoza. See.
All right, we've just come to this little station and there's a bunch of donkeys. Now I think there's several options where you can actually hike up and they will carry your stuff. But this actually looks like they've got supplies. So probably some kind of farming or crafts they make up here, and then they probably haul them down on these donkeys. All right, guys, we have made it to Aguas Caliente, the small town where we will take a bus up to Machu Picchu from here. So after we get off here, we have to put our bags in the hotel and then go find the bus so we can go up to Machu Picchu. So we made it off the train finally. We're running about 25 minutes late. We're hustling to the hotel because we got to drop off our bags and get on the bus.
Here's our new friends from Mexico.
What are your names?
Paola. I'm Paola.
I'm Monica.
Mucho gusto.
Nice to meet you.
They're going to Machu Picchu on the same bus as us.
All right, it's official. We are in Machu Picchu. All right, guys, we're 20 minutes in. It's pretty much been a straight up climb on these cobblestone rocks.
Okay, if you're new to the channel, or even just a little bit new to the channel, you probably know that we like to seek out places where there aren't so many people. I've already told you that, but I wanted to pop in and tell you that we also prefer to do things like this without a guide. We like to move at our own pace and kind of take in the things we enjoy the most. Then we go back, kind of research things later and learn about what we saw. And I know some of you would appreciate a lot more information on these places. But we gotta live it the way we want to live it. So we'll give you a little bit of info on it throughout the hike through, but we like to do it on our own.
All right, up in the backdrop, you can see those snow-capped mountains. Super cool. And then down below us, it's getting a little hazy. The sun's going down, but you can see the river down there. Hopefully that haze doesn't set in. And then here we got the main city of Machu Picchu. And right back behind it is Machu Picchu. And that's what we're gonna summit tomorrow. Don't ask me how, because I've been looking at that big old thing, wondering where the path up is.
So I knew Machu Picchu was gonna be hard on the new knee. The steps, no matter how short the Incas or the pre-Incas used to be, they built gigantic steps. So walking sticks are not generally allowed in Machu Picchu, but my surgeon wrote me a note, and thank goodness, because I could not have done it without them. Some of these steps are like 2.5 foot steps. All right, so you guys know we normally do our best to avoid crowds, but at Machu Picchu, that is impossible. But it's still beautiful, even with people everywhere. Tucked away deep in the Andes Mountains northwest of Cusco, Machu Picchu is believed to have been a royal estate or sacred religious site for the Inca leaders, whose civilization was basically wiped out by the Spanish invaders in the 16th century. For hundreds of years, until an American archaeologist named Hiram Bingham stumbled upon it in 1911, the abandoned citadel's existence was a secret known only to a few local farmers living in the region. The site stretches over an impressive 5-mile distance, featuring more than 150 buildings and 3,000 stone steps that link its many different levels. Today, hundreds of thousands of people walk through Machu Picchu every year to see the sunset over its towering stone monuments and marvel at the mystery of one of the world's most famous man-made wonders. Historians believe Machu Picchu was built at the height of the Inca Empire, which dominated western South America in the 15th and 16th centuries. It was abandoned an estimated 100 years after its construction, probably around the time the Spanish began their conquest of the pre-Columbian civilization in the 1530s. But there is no evidence that the Spanish armies ever attacked or even reached the mountaintop citadel. For this reason, some think that the residents' desertion of Machu Picchu probably occurred because of a smallpox epidemic. Many modern-day archaeologists now believe that Machu Picchu served as a royal estate for Inca emperors and nobles. Others have theorized that it was a religious site, pointing to its proximity to the mountains and other geographical features that the Incas held sacred. Dozens of alternative hypotheses have cropped up in the years since Machu Picchu was first unveiled to the world, with scholars theorizing it as a prison, a trade hub, a station for testing new crops, a woman's retreat, or a city devoted to the coronation of kings. In the summer of 1911, the American archaeologist Hiram Bingham arrived in Peru with a small team of explorers, hoping to find Vilcabamba, the last Inca stronghold to fall to the Spanish. Traveling on foot by mule, Bingham and his team made their way from Cusco into the Urubamba Valley, where a local farmer told them of some ruins located at the top of a nearby mountain. The farmer called the mountain Machu Picchu, which translates to Old Peak in the native Quechua language. On July 24th, Bingham met a small group of peasants who showed him the rest of the way, actually led by an 11-year-old boy. Bingham got his first glimpse of the intricate network of the stone terraces marking the entrance to Machu Picchu in July of 1911. Bingham spread the word about his discovery in a best-selling book, The Lost City of the Incas. He also excavated many artifacts from Machu Picchu and took them to Yale University for further inspection. This ignited a custody battle that lasted nearly 100 years and was not resolved until the Peruvian government actually filed a lawsuit and lobbied President Barack Obama for the return of the items. And yes, Yale finally agreed to complete the repatriation of the artifacts back to Peru. Machu Picchu's walls, terraces, stairways, and ramps blend seamlessly into its natural setting. The site's finely crafted stonework, terraced fields, and sophisticated irrigation system bear witness to the Inca civilization's architectural, agriculture, and engineering prowess. Its central buildings are prime examples of a masonry technique mastered by the Incas, in which stones were cut to fit together precisely without mortar. So precisely that a credit card cannot be inserted in between them. This was done without saws, blades, tools, wheels, or many tools that we use in modern construction. We have literally encountered a llama jam. They don't want to move. Someone's coming to help us move them. Oh, there you go. Oh, there we go. Hey. All right, look at those two down there. This is the entry to the hike they're doing at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now for me, it's just, the thing is almost all stairs up and down. And it's just something that, especially when we bought our tickets 2 months ago, we didn't think my knee would be able to do. We were right, because these steps are big enough that just Machu Picchu is doing me in. But those two are gonna brave climbing Huayna Picchu tomorrow. And the cool thing is, they'll be coming into Machu Picchu at sunrise. So I'm super stoked for them. They'll be spending the night here in this little town where we got off the train. But tonight, I will get on the train and go back to the van so I can be with our kitties. These guys will wake up at 5 in the morning, do this hike, and rejoin me down at the van tomorrow afternoon.
We have pretty much kind of walked through a majority of it, zigzagged. We didn't go into all the buildings and structures. But we're gonna say we conquered Machu Picchu, and we are on the way out. And you can see there's kind of these cobblestone step paths through these boulders. Hello, hello.
Go to the next one.
You I'm looking for.
One more? Do this one.
Cause I wonder where you are.
Bring me a higher love. Did it work?
Yeah, do it again, do it again.
Bring me a higher love. Oh.
Yeah. All right, we made it to flat land.
Woohoo!
Snow is screaming, no more stairs, no more stairs. But guys, it was a really stunning place to visit. I mean, we had a great time. It's definitely crowded, so bring your patience. But other than that,
Amazing.
amazing.
All right, guys, we all had us a nice hot bowl of soup because as soon as the sun went down, it got cold. We had to hurry through dinner because it's time for me to catch a train back to the van and to the kitties. Kurt and Ashley will grab their hotel rooms and they're doing that crazy hike in the morning. Let's go get the kitties. All right, it's dark. The train ride was chaotic getting on and off, but it's good now. We're home and I see a kitty looking at me through the window. Let's get this door open. All right, we made it back to the van. Both kitties are eating. First things first, feed the kitties. But what I noticed, there's toys all over the van. Ashley brought them 2 new toys. Those are out, plus some of their old favorites. They're all right. So it's been a long day. It has been an amazing day. I mean, we checked off a serious bucket list item. Kurt and Ashley are gonna add to that tomorrow by climbing up that crazy tall mountain. I'm gonna hang out here. But with that, we'll see you guys in a few days. Kurt and Ashley will see you up on the crazy mountain, and I'll see you right here in this cool little town. Cheers, guys. Hope you enjoyed Machu Picchu with us. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys.